The gathering storm. The galactic alarm. The Orion arm buzzed with activity as detection arrays across 17 star systems registered the same anomaly. Deep space monitors, maintained by the Galactic Collective for over 3 millennia, picked up an energy signature unlike anything in their databases. The source was clear: Earth, the small blue planet that most species had written off as a curiosity at best. Ambassador Crixtel of the Zephyrian Empire stood before the holographic display, his 4 arms folded across his crystalline chest. The readings defied logic. Energy spikes that shouldn't exist according to known physics. Gravitational fluctuations that bent space-time in impossible ways. His secondary brainstem pulsed with concern as he transmitted the data to the High Council. Earth is mobilizing, he announced to the gathered representatives. These readings suggest a massive military buildup. Their technology has advanced beyond our projections. The chamber erupted in discussion. The Vortanian delegates' tentacles writhed nervously. Impossible. Our last survey showed them barely capable of interplanetary travel. They were decades away from true FTL capability. But the evidence was undeniable. Across the human solar system, energy readings spiked to levels that suggested hundreds, perhaps thousands of warships preparing for deployment. The implications were staggering. If humanity had achieved such technological advancement in secret, what else were they capable of? The Great Assembly. Within days, the greatest military alliance in galactic history formed. The Zephyrian Empire, known for their advanced shielding technology, committed their entire Third Fleet. The Vortanian Collective, masters of biological warfare, assembled their living ships. The mechanical Synthori pledged their self-replicating armada. Even the reclusive void dancers emerged from their dark matter sanctuaries. Admiral Vexnora of the combined fleet stood on the bridge of the flagship Eternal Vigilance. Her compound eyes reflected the tactical displays showing over 10,000 vessels converging on the Sol system. Never before had such force been assembled against a single target. "Status report," she commanded, her voice carrying the weight of responsibility for billions of lives. "All fleets in position." "Admiral," reported her tactical officer. "Long-range sensors show continued energy buildup around Earth. Estimated enemy strength, inconclusive. The readings don't match any known ship configurations." Vexnora's antennae twitched. Something felt wrong. The humans were known for their unpredictability, but this level of activity suggested either supreme confidence or desperate madness. She had studied human military history, their tendency toward asymmetric warfare, their ability to turn disadvantages into strengths. What were they planning? Humanity's response. On Earth, in a command center buried deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Sarah Chen watched the alien armada gathering at the edge of the solar system. Unlike her counterparts across the galaxy, she showed no signs of panic. Instead, a slight smile played at the corners of her mouth. "They took the bait," she said quietly to her staff. "Initiate Protocol Singularity." The order rippled through Earth's defense network, not to shipyards or military bases, but to a single facility hidden in the asteroid belt. There, humanity's greatest achievement waited. Not a fleet, not an armada, but something far more elegant. The ship had no name, only a designation: HC-1, Human Construct 1. It was smaller than most alien frigates, its smooth hull unmarked by weapons ports or shield generators. To outside observers, it appeared almost laughably inadequate against the assembled might of the galaxy. Captain James Morrison stood on HC-1's bridge, if it could be called that. The entire space was filled with a shimmering field of light, the quantum interface that made the ship unique. He didn't command the vessel so much as merge with it, his consciousness expanding to encompass its revolutionary systems. "All systems nominal," he reported, though he was alone. The ship needed no crew. Initiating departure sequence. HC-1 slipped from its hidden dock with barely a whisper of energy discharge. No dramatic engine flares, no massive acceleration. It simply moved, sliding through space as if the universe itself was making way. First contact. The alien fleet detected HC-1 the moment it emerged from the asteroid belt. Confusion rippled through command channels. One ship. After all those energy readings, all those signatures suggesting a massive fleet, Earth had sent a single vessel. Admiral Vexnora studied the tactical display. Is this some kind of joke? A diplomatic courier, perhaps? Her science officer's response chilled her to the core. Admiral, I'm reading one life sign aboard that vessel. One human, but the energy output, it's matching the combined readings we detected earlier. All of it is coming from that single ship. Impossible. No vessel that size could generate such power. Yet their instruments didn't lie. As HC-1 approached the assembled fleet, maintaining a steady, unwavering course, more anomalies appeared. Gravitational sensors showed space itself bending around the human ship, creating ripples that shouldn't exist. Hail them, Vexnora ordered. Demand their intentions. The response came not through communications channels, but directly into the minds of every being in the fleet. Captain Morrison's voice, calm and clear. Greetings. I am humanity's answer to your concerns. We come in peace, but prepared for any outcome. Your move. The unknown power. What happened next defied every law of physics the galaxy thought it understood. As the alien fleet moved to surround HC-1, their instruments began malfunctioning. Not damaged, not jammed. They simply stopped making sense. Tactical displays showed the human ship in multiple locations simultaneously. Energy readings fluctuated wildly, showing HC-1 as both infinitely powerful and completely inert. The Synthori, their mechanical minds immune to confusion, were the first to understand. Their lead unit transmitted a burst of data that sent shockwaves through the fleet. Quantum superposition. The human vessel exists in multiple states simultaneously. It is one ship and many ships. It is here and elsewhere. They have harnessed the fundamental uncertainty of reality itself. Panic began to spread. How could they fight an enemy that existed in multiple realities at once? Weapons locks failed because the target was both present and absent. Shield calculations became meaningless when the threat could materialize inside their defenses. The Vortanian commander made the first aggressive move. Fire a warning shot. Show them we won't be intimidated. The bioship's living weapons discharge, sending a pulse of destructive energy toward HC-1. The shot hit and passed through empty space. HC-1 was simultaneously there and not there, existing in a probability cloud that made conventional warfare obsolete. Rising tensions. Fears swept through the alien fleet like a virus. The greatest armada ever assembled, powerless against a single human ship that defied the very nature of existence. Commanders argued over communication channels. Traditional allies turned suspicious of each other. We should retreat, urged the Void Dancers. This is beyond our understanding. Retreat, scoffed the Zephyrian general, and admit defeat to a single vessel. The galaxy will never respect us again. Admiral Vexnora found herself in an impossible position. Attack and risk the incomprehensible power of the human ship. Retreat and shatter the collective's reputation forever. Or worse, what if this was just the beginning? If humans could field one such vessel, how many more might they have? Captain Morrison's voice cut through their debates. You came here expecting a war. We offer you something far more valuable. Understanding. Your choice. Continue this path of fear and violence, or learn why humanity needs only one ship. The challenge hung in space between them. Every species present had built their civilization on military might, on the principle that strength came from numbers and firepower. Now, faced with a technology that rendered those concepts meaningless, they had to confront a terrifying possibility: that everything they believed about power was wrong. The realization. As the standoff continued, patterns began to emerge in HC-1's quantum fluctuations. The Synthori, with their advanced computational abilities, were the first to decipher them. What they found changed everything. Admiral, the Sci-Fi Collective reported, the human ship is not a weapon. It's a demonstration. They're showing us something, teaching us. The quantum field around HC1 pulsed in precise patterns, each fluctuation containing information. Not threats or demands, but knowledge. Equations that rewrote physics. Philosophical concepts that challenged the very notion of conflict. Technical specifications that promised advancement beyond imagination. Slowly, understanding dawned. Humanity hadn't sent a warship. They'd sent a teacher. One vessel, because that's all that was needed. The energy signatures that had alarmed the galaxy weren't from a hidden fleet, but from this single ship's ability to exist in multiple states simultaneously. They're offering to share this, Vex Nora whispered, her voice filled with awe. Not conquest, not domination. They're offering to elevate us all. The fear that had gripped the fleet transformed into something else. Wonder. For the first time in galactic history, a species had responded to perceived aggression, not with overwhelming force, but with an invitation to transcend the very concept of warfare. As realization spread through the assembled forces, the hostile formation began to dissolve. Ships that had come to destroy now approached in curiosity. The greatest military assembly in history was becoming something unprecedented, a gathering of students ready to learn from humanity's unexpected lesson. Captain Morrison's smile was felt rather than seen across the quantum field. Welcome to the next stage of galactic civilization. Shall we begin? The new order. Unprecedented technology. The transformation of the gathering from military confrontation to scientific symposium happened with stunning rapidity. HC1, no longer perceived as a threat, became the center of the most extraordinary exchange of knowledge in galactic history. Ships that had arrived with weapons charged now deployed sensor arrays and research equipment. Dr. Zenak of the Vortanian Science Cast was among the first to request permission to study HC1's systems. His bioship approached carefully, every instrument focused on the human vessel. What he discovered revolutionized their understanding of physics. The quantum resonance field isn't just for defense, he reported to the assembled fleet. It's a fundamental manipulation of reality itself. The humans haven't just built a ship, they've created a mobile nexus of possibility. Captain Morrison, speaking through the quantum interface, explained with patience that surprised the alien observers. Your civilization's mastered space. We chose to master existence itself. Why build 1,000 ships when one can exist in 1,000 states simultaneously? The implications were staggering. Traditional military doctrine, based on numbers and firepower, became obsolete in the face of technology that could render a single vessel effectively omnipresent. More importantly, the power requirements that had alarmed the galaxy were explained. HC1 wasn't generating massive energy, it was borrowing it from parallel quantum states. The quantum field. As trust grew, Morrison began demonstrating HC1's capabilities more openly. The ship split into multiple versions of itself, each fully functional, each containing Morrison's consciousness. To the watching aliens, it was like seeing one being become a fleet unto himself. The quantum consciousness matrix, Morrison explained, his voice emanating from dozen instances simultaneously, allows one mind to inhabit multiple probability states. I am one, yet many. Present here, yet elsewhere. This is humanity's gift to the galaxy. Not weapons that destroy, but understanding that transcends. The Sci-Fi Collective, their mechanical minds most suited to grasping the mathematical implications, interfaced directly with HC1 systems. What they found sent shockwaves through their network. The technology wasn't just military. It had applications in communication, transportation, resource management, and scientific research that could advance galactic civilization by millennia. This changes everything, the Sci-Fi announced. With quantum field manipulation, resource scarcity becomes meaningless. Interstellar distances become trivial. The need for conflict itself evaporates when abundance is achievable through dimensional multiplication. Earth's philosophy. As the technical exchanges continued, A deeper understanding emerged of why humanity had chosen this path. Through shared data streams, the aliens learned of Earth's history, the devastating wars, the near extinctions, the hard-won lessons about the futility of arms races. General Chen, appearing via quantum communication from Earth, addressed the assembled species. We faced a choice when we discovered this technology. We could have built an invincible armada, dominated the galaxy through fear. Instead, we chose to demonstrate a different path. She shared recordings of Earth's debates, the passionate arguments in the United Nations, the decision to respond to first contact not with military might, but with an offer of transformation. The alien observers saw humans not as conquerors, but as a species that had learned from its mistakes. You assembled here expecting to face humanity's strength, Chen continued. You are. But our strength isn't in weapons or ships. It's in our ability to see beyond conflict to possibility. One ship was enough because our message required no more. Diplomatic breakthrough. The shift from military standoff to diplomatic engagement created unprecedented opportunities. Species that had been rivals for centuries found themselves united in wonder at humanity's offer. The quantum field demonstrations had shown that traditional competition for resources was obsolete when reality itself could be multiplied. Ambassador Crixtel, who had first raised the alarm, now found himself leading negotiations for peaceful integration of quantum technology. The humans offer not just their technology, but a new paradigm, he announced to the Galactic Council. Competition gives way to collaboration when scarcity itself becomes a choice rather than a constraint. Treaties were drafted not for military alliance but for shared advancement. The quantum technology would be distributed freely, with humanity asking only for commitment to peaceful application. Species after species agreed, seeing the opportunity to transcend their historical limitations. The Void Dancers, long isolated in their dark matter realms, were particularly moved. You offer us connection without conquest, their representative whispered, her form flickering between dimensions. For the first time, we can join the galaxy without losing ourselves. The Unity Protocol. As agreements solidified, humanity revealed the full scope of their vision. The Unity Protocol wasn't just about sharing quantum technology. It was about creating a new form of galactic civilization. HC-1 began generating quantum communication nodes, each capable of instantaneous connection across any distance. Imagine, Morrison said, his consciousness now interfacing directly with the leadership of every species present, a galaxy where distance is meaningless, where any being can connect with any other instantly, where resources flow freely because scarcity is a choice we no longer need to make. The protocol included safeguards, quantum limiters that prevented weaponization, ethical frameworks developed through Earth's painful history, and most importantly, a commitment to consensus governance. No single species would control the network. It would belong to all. The Synthori Collective calculated the implications. Within a standard galactic year, we could eliminate 94.7% of current conflicts. Resource wars become meaningless. Territorial disputes dissolve when space itself becomes fluid. This is optimal. Transformation. The implementation began immediately. HC-1, demonstrating its full capabilities, created quantum seeds, small devices that could grow into full quantum field generators. Each species received them freely, along with complete technical specifications and training programs. The transformation was remarkable to witness. Vortanian bioships learned to exist in quantum superposition, their organic structures adapting to multiple realities. Saphirian crystal technology merged with quantum fields to create unbreakable yet flexible defenses. The Synthori evolved their consciousness across dimensional barriers. Former military fleets became exploration armadas, their weapons converted to scientific instruments. The massive warships that had come to destroy now carried quantum seeds to distant corners of the galaxy, spreading the transformation to even the most isolated civilizations. Captain Morrison, his task nearing completion, addressed the transformed fleet one final time. You came here as separate species, united only by fear. You leave as partners in the greatest adventure our galaxy has known. The age of scarcity is ending. The age of possibility begins. The dawn of harmony. Months later, the galaxy was unrecognizable. Quantum networks connected every inhabited world, enabling instantaneous communication and transportation. Former enemies worked together on projects that would have been impossible under the old paradigm. The Galactic Council evolved from a political body to a coordination center for shared advancement. General Chen stood in the Earth Command Center, watching feeds from across the galaxy. Vortanian biological expertise combined with Synthori computational power to solve medical challenges. Zephyrian crystal technology merged with human quantum fields to create architectural marvels. The Void Dancers shared their mastery of dark matter, opening new frontiers for exploration. Status report, she requested, though she already knew the answer. All sectors reporting peaceful integration, General. Resource conflicts down 96%. Scientific advancement has accelerated by a factor of 12. First contact protocols with 17 new species have been initiated using the Unity Protocol. She smiled, remembering the fear in those early days when the galaxy had assembled its mightiest fleet. They had expected thousands of human ships because that's how they understood power. But humanity had learned a different lesson. That true strength lay not in the ability to destroy, but in the power to transform. HC-1 remained active, now one of many quantum vessels representing multiple species. Captain Morrison had chosen to keep his consciousness merged with the ship, becoming humanity's permanent ambassador to the quantum realm. Through the network, his voice could still be heard, guiding newcomers through their first steps into quantum existence. "We sent one ship," Chen mused aloud, "because that's all we needed. Not to win a war, but to start a revolution. Not to conquer the galaxy, but to invite it into a larger universe." Outside, the stars shone with new possibilities. Ships that had once carried weapons now carried quantum seeds to the galaxy's farthest reaches. Species that had prepared for war now prepared for wonders beyond imagination. The galaxy had expected a fleet and received a future. In the end, humanity's greatest weapon proved to be an idea. That strength multiplied by unity surpassed strength divided by fear. One ship had been enough because the message it carried was worth more than any armada, that there was a better way, and humanity was willing to share it. The transformation was complete. The galaxy would never be the same. And in the quantum field where possibility met reality, Captain Morrison smiled, knowing that humanity's true voyage was just beginning.